Raise your hand if you have noticed that the mornings have gotten brighter recently. This is because daylight saving times is causing the morning to be brighter and the night to be darker. Today I'm going to be talking about daylight savings time. Daylight savings time is when you set the clock 1 hour ahead or behind to make the daylight last longer. So there's daylight savings time during the summer or the spring because it starts in the spring, and daylight savings time in the fall and winter. So let's say you normally wake up at about 7 o'clock, and due to daylight savings time, there will be the sun of 8 o'clock. That's why it causes it to be brighter in the morning. And here's what a picture of it might look like. Not sure if you could see it, but let's say it was 2 o'clock, it'll have the sun of 3 o'clock. That's because the time, well, no, it'll have the sun of, let's say it's 3 o'clock, it'll have the sun of 2 o'clock because, no. Yeah, it will just be brighter in the morning. And in the winter and fall, the time will be darker in the morning and brighter near the end of the day. I wouldn't say there's daylight savings time in the winter. It's because daylight savings time goes back to standard time at around November in the fall. So here's what it might look like. Let's say it was 2 o'clock. It'll have the sunlight of 1 o'clock. It'll be brighter near the end of the day because let's say it was 7 o'clock. It usually is dark. It'll have the light of 6 o'clock, so it'll be a lot brighter. And this clock here hasn't changed from, it says 4:09. It hasn't changed from the recent daylight saving time that happened last Sunday. It's actually 5:09, but it shows it's 4:09. So this would actually be standard time aside from the normal daylight savings time that changed the clock to 5:09. So when waking up at 7 o'clock, it'll feel like 6 o'clock. So that's why we feel a lot more tired in the winter time when we wake up. So it's not just because we're cold. The purpose is because the sun sets earlier in the winter. So thanks to daylight savings time, the sunshine will last a lot longer. Fun fact, most people pronounce it as daylight savings time, but it's not actually correct. It's pronounced as daylight saving time. Saving time because savings doesn't make sense. So here are some fun facts, just facts about daylight savings time. It was suggested by George Hudson, who is this guy. Sorry about the bad quality. It's from the 1800s. So that's probably why it looks like that. He's an ecologist that suggested the idea in 1895 because he wanted to have more time to go bug hunting in the summer after work, and he also wanted to save daylight for his nation. It was implemented eventually in 1918. We started using daylight saving times at that time. And this spring, daylight savings time started at March 14th, 2021, because this year it was last Sunday. So that's why I noticed that I woke up earlier today because it was a lot brighter. So we got an extra hour of sleep. And it started at 2 a.m. on March 14th, and it's going to end at November 7th at 2 a.m., which is the fall, and it'll go back to another daylight savings time. All states except for Hawaii and Arizona use daylight savings time. They just don't like it for some reason. Here's the pros and cons about daylight savings time. The pros about daylight saving time is that there will be more light in the morning, which allows people to do their summer activities such as swimming, playing tennis, going to the beach, and whatever. So that's the pros. The pros about having daylight savings times in the winter time is so that they could still see in the evening, so that they go outside when it's around 6 o'clock without it being pitch black. And however, there's some cons that comes along with daylight savings time. The time, let's say you sleep at 10 o'clock in summer, it will actually be 11 o'clock. So in reality, you lost an hour of sleep each night due to daylight savings time. And at night, when it's later, let's say you normally start driving home from work at about 8 o'clock, you'll actually be starting driving home from work at 9. Well, according to this clock, it will be 9 o'clock. So it'll be very tiring, and there might be a lot of car accidents that might happen. So that might be the downsides. And during the winter, as I mentioned earlier, the morning in the winter will be brighter. No, darker. Summer it's brighter. Winter will be darker, and sometimes kids like to walk to school. And so you have tired car drivers, and it's also dark. So there might be a lot of car accidents, and it could be really disastrous. So overall, there's a lot of good sides and a couple of bad sides about daylight saving times. And that's all you need to know about daylight saving. Thank you.